Hi everyone and welcome for this tutorial how to upgrade a Necron warriors. Thanks for every Patreon to support me every month and give me the possibility to show you more and more tutorial. So for this I'm going to use some red brown, some green, some Troll Slayer orange, some black, some jungle green and some Canoptech alloy, the new metallic paint from Games Workshops. It's really useful and very covering, so it's pretty interesting. So for this tutorial I'm going to show you some very few steps to upgrade the simple way I paint at the beginning the Necron warriors to have an upgrade and something, a miniatures better. For that I'm going to start by create my rusts on the different parts. I use some red brown from model color and I'm going to push some wash, some control wash in different points. For that I'm going to push this wash in priority into the dark part to create my rusts. Take care to have pretty large surfaces when you push your red brown, so you can again push some Troll Slayer orange into this red brown and always into the recesses and into some parts who are not in the light, because it's going to be more easy to have rust into the shadow, because this is the part for example where when it rains the water is going to go in this zone, so it's going to create some rust. Now I come back to clean my surfaces with my green, and this green is going to be, it's something like Scaly Green from Games Workshop, but it's from Prince August Games range, and this is going to help me to create my transition to my other Source Lightning effect and to have something more clean and with more contrast. It's pretty important to have something more nice. So now I continue with some white to push some point of highlight, and this point is going to create more and more contrasts on my other Source Lightning effect. That's pretty important for me to push these contrasts the more I can, to have this other Source Lightning effects better. Now with some black from Procolor I come back just to clean and to make some distinction between the different surfaces and different elements. This is pretty important to have a better visibility on your miniatures. That's always a good thing, even if you make some tabletop model or some more quality model. This part is pretty important. I come back again to clean my other Source Lightning effect with this time some jungle green from Army Printer. So that's always to be a better and better transition between my different elements. That's going to give more intensity to my green, and that's going to always go to the same way, have a better and better other Source Lightning effect. This pretty simple model is perfect to try some new technicals, because there are not a few kind of materials and elements, there are only other Source Lightning and metallic, so you can push more and more, for example rust with my Troll Slayer orange, and you can take care about the surface you want to reach to have something more who seems more hard, more with more rust, or a little bit less. It's depending of what you choose. Now I come back with some Canoptech alloy. This metallic paint is pretty interesting because it's very covering. So I come back on every edges, or not necessarily every edges, but the edges I want to be in front and to be more visible to people who see the miniatures. As you can see, I always use a lot the side of my brush just to be sure to reach the good parts. And now with some black I come back just to make some distinction between all the small elements and small details on the miniatures. That will be the last step for that Necron upgrade. I really hope you enjoy this tutorial. Like every time, don't hesitate to subscribe if that's not already the case. Don't hesitate if you have any question, especially my patron on Patreon, who can ask me any question. I will answer as soon as possible. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram so you can see the miniatures I paint, so probably the next tutorial you will have access. And thanks again to all my boss on Patreon who give me the opportunity to create more and more content for you. Next week we will see how to paint Ultramarine from the Indomitus boxes. And for my Patreon, for my boss, for you, I will show you how to improve, how to upgrade this to something better with more elements. Thanks again for watching and see you soon for the next tutorial. Bye bye!